Yes, sir. Now, today, we going to touch on Malcolm X, right? In this month of Black History Month. Once again, the month that has been given to us and spoon fed with certain characters that they want us to look at. Better yet, it was somebody that said in the comments, they put Black History Month, they said it in a better way, Black Trauma Month. Basically, because that's all they remind you of is people that they have given to you, and then they beat these characters, they kill these characters off, and now that programs you, this is what happens to you when you fight against the system. This is why they would give you such a person like Malcolm X, such a person like Martin Luther King. This is the reason behind it. We're going to give you a leader. They're going to lead you down a burning building, as Martin Luther King said himself. And then we're going to wipe him off, and that's going to teach you to forever stay in line, to forever remember your place. So let's touch on the Malcolm X persona. Right? Now, first, we have to understand the symbolism that is always right in front of you. Right? With Malcolm X giving you the sign of a Mark Master Mason. Now, we have seen this symbolism with a lot of other entertainers, black and white. Yes, I don't know who majority of these white people are, but I did add them for the diversity effect. You see what I'm saying? Yes, they get down with the get down too. I don't know why that's like a thing people like to say on this channel. You talk about a lot of black people. Yes, because I'm a black man. It's only natural. But we have Michael Jordan, right? Jay Leno, Kanye West, Nikola Tesla, Martin Luther King, like I said, an unknown white man. Richard Pryor, an unknown white man number 2, and we have Kobe Bryant, right? All giving you the sign of the Mark Master Mason. So don't get this misconstrued. They're doing this for a reason. Every time the camera comes out, they happen to be doing this symbolism. So you have to understand that it's something deeper that they're signifying, not to you, but to their fellow brothers. Well, also to us as well, to let you know in plain sight. You know, when it's information like this leaks out for a reason. You can easily look up Illuminati symbolism, Freemason symbolism, and you can find everything that these people do. So this is them wiping their hands with the karma. We told you who we were. But let's go on. Right? Now, let's touch on Malcolm X. Right? Let's touch on the Gematria, the numerology behind the situation. Now, Malcolm X happens to equal 42. As we all know, that is the number for nigger, right? Slavery. And another person that was involved in the civil rights movement as well, Martin, also had that number 42 lingering around his character as well. You have to keep in mind, these people's names are strategically changed. This man was not born as Malcolm X. It was changed to Malcolm X to take on the role of the character. This is what you have to understand. And this is why they are bringing these specific people. It's because they're mocking you at the same time. So when you think about Black history, these are the people that you think about. The people that they have given you and then giggled to themselves. Little do they know. Right? Malcolm Little was born in the month of May, which equals 42, and then he was killed in the month of February, which also equals 42. So he actually died in this quote-unquote Black History Month. Interesting. Now, once again, I told you with that Black history, Black person. See, this is why I don't even like that black word, because we are not black people. You look at our skin, we are shades of brown. So where did they even get this terminology from? But see, even the word black person is rooted in mockery, because black person equals 181, which is the 42nd prime number. So even considering yourself a black person, you're calling yourself a nigger. Little do you know, that's what you're referring to yourself as by the numerology, by these terms that have already been given to you as, right? So now we know that Malcolm X was a spokesperson for the Nation of Islam. And what's so interesting, the Nation of Islam also has that same numerology, with 181 being the 42nd prime number. So everything that he was doing, mockery was traveling behind him the whole time. Even civil rights leader also equals 181, the 42nd prime number. And the most prominent civil rights figure in black history, once again, in black history, which is a man by the name that was changed once again. His name was changed to Martin, to continue this mockery, to continue this plan of this character, which was all in mockery. Now, Malcolm X was killed 4 months and 2 weeks after the birthday of the Nation of Islam leader, Elijah Muhammad. Now, if we go by the story that was told, Malcolm X began to learn the truth about the Nation of Islam and its leaders. He began to learn the truth about Elijah Muhammad, that he was actually a child blank blank. You hear me? Which was actually confirmed by Elijah Muhammad's children. This is confirmed information that yes, indeed, he was touching on them kids, right? And if we go along with the story, this is what led to the execution of Malcolm X. So this very much could be true. But the one thing that we have to acknowledge then, if we're going to acknowledge that, we have to also acknowledge that the Nation of Islam is working with those people as well. Because it was those people, it was 3 Nation of Islam members that quote unquote killed Malcolm X. So if we're going to acknowledge that part of the story, that yes, it was him exposing the Nation of Islam, which led to his demise, then we also have to acknowledge that the Nation of Islam is also working with those people. Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, all of those people are also working alongside of the government. But come on. Right, continuing at 42. His name, Malcolm Little, both equal 24. The reflection of 42. So even before he even took on that Malcolm X, which equals 42, before that, he was Malcolm Little, which equals 24. Now, Malcolm Little was born on May 19th, the 5th month, the 19th day. Add that up and you get the number 24 once again. So once again, was this a made up character playing his role? Their names always get changed when they inherit the role that they play. Right? He was also a Muslim, right? An American Muslim minister. When Muslim also equals 24 in that same full reduction cipher. Now, if you don't understand what you're looking at, how rude of me. This is the practice of Gematria, turning letters into their numerical value. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, so on and so forth. Now it's these ciphers that are being utilized, once again, to give you the truth in plain sight and then wipe their hands with the karma, with the English language that is being understood by everybody on this planet. The English language. When the New World Order is to come in, it's going to be the English language. That is going to be the one language that the world is going to speak. So it's going to be most prominent in that English language with these Gematria connections. Malcolm Little, once again, equaling 24. Now in prison, he joined the Nation of Islam, adopted the name Malcolm X to symbolize his unknown African ancestral surname while discarding the white slave master name of Little. But at the end of the day, it still had the same numerology because X is the 24th letter of the alphabet. So it's still equated to the same thing. At the end of the day, it's still equated to the same thing, even with that name change. Now, Malcolm X, right? Which X equals 24, Malcolm equals 24, Little equals 24. Malcolm X passed away 2 months and 4 weeks after his last birthday. Exactly 2 months and 4 weeks. So what's really going on with these people? Why is this so strategic? Why is this so organized? Is it because it was a character all along? Malcolm X also passed away 12 weeks and 3 days after his birthday, just like Malcolm X. Equals 123 in the English language in reverse. Excuse me. He passed away 12 weeks and 3 days before his birthday. All these things are surrounded around these people's birthdays. Now, he also passed away 87 days before his birthday when Martin and slavery. Martin, another person that was revolved around the number 42. So you have to know that both of their deaths were connected. Even though they were playing different sides of the spectrum, Martin was a more non-violent approach. Malcolm X was by any means approach. Right? He even called Martin a chump based on his views on how to approach, right, the civil rights movement. So even though they were both on different sides of the spectrum, they still got taken out by the numbers in connection with each other. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. both equal 93. Now, it's very interesting that Malcolm X passed away on the 9th month and the 3rd day of his age, when Malcolm X equals 93. Now, isn't it interesting? Isn't it very mind-blowing that Malcolm, which Malcolm X equals 93, if we take the reflection of 93, we get 39 as the age that Malcolm X passed away. At the age of 39, when we take Malcolm, which equals 39, Little, once again his original last name, equals 39 as well. And he passed away in the state of New York, which equals 39 as well. So even his born name, this numerology was already being utilized with his birth name. Now, to be exact, Malcolm X was actually 39 years and 39 weeks old at the time of his death. He was 39 years and 39 weeks old at the time of his passing. Just like, once again, Malcolm and Little both equal 39. Now, did you know that Martin Luther King also passed away at the age of 39? Very interesting indeed, right? Two prominent civil rights movement, both on different sides of the spectrum, but they both have the same numerology. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., both equal 93, and they both died the reflection of 93 at the age of 39 years old. These are characters in front of us, y'all. These are characters playing out their scripts, all to cause real trauma, real issues, real tension for years to come. Because every Black History Month, we are reminded of these said individuals that have been assassinated. This is all we think about when we think about Black history. We think about people that have been beaten, people that have been shunned, treated less than, inhumane, chained, whipped, and killed. These are the people they feed us in the month of Black Trauma Month. But don't worry, I'm gonna bring some light to the darkness. We're gonna touch on the real Black history, right? Not only am I gonna expose the fake Black history, I'm also gonna shed light on the real Black history. But come on. Right? Masonry also equals 39. Remember that picture where they gave you the sign of the Mark Master Mason, and they both pass away at the age of 39 when Masonry equals 39. What's also interesting about Masonry is if we take the day that Martin Luther King was born and we take it to the day that Malcolm X passed away, we get a span of 433 months. Now, 433 is a special number, with it being a prime number, a number that can only divide into itself and the number 1. Now, 433 is the 84th prime number, just like Masonry equals 84 in the English language in reverse. So we get that Masonry once again. These were both brothers. These were both Masonic brothers. And once again, with that word Masonry, right? Because so crazy, right? Malcolm X was pronounced dead at 3:30. Just like Masonry equals 33 in the full reduction cipher. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. These things is being put right in front of you. Also with the state of New York equaling 33 as well, the state that he passed away in. All these things are constructed by the numbers. Let's go deeper into that Masonry though. Let's go deeper. Because they said that as Malcolm X and his bodyguards tried to quell the disturbance, right? He was in a ballroom speaking. And it was a disturbance going on in the front. Now, they say a man rushed forward and shot him once in the chest with a sawed-off shotgun. Now, sawed off equals 137. Once again, the 33rd prime number, just like how he was pronounced dead at 3:30. Now, also with that number 137, right? He was killed 137 days after the birthday of, once again, the Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad. Once again, 137 being the 33rd prime number. So yes, all of these folks was a part of it. If you understand the symbolism behind that crescent moon and that star, that will be very evident to you. You would then understand why a lot of countries utilize that same crescent moon and that star on their flag. This is the same reason why if you Google Baphomet, you will see that same crescent moon and that star right on his head. All these things are being revealed, man. These organizations that's being created ain't no good. But come on. Right? Even if we break down, once again, another person whose name is changed. Everybody in these situations, how many people have we talked about? How many people have utilized their real name? None of them. They're all playing characters. If we take Elijah Muhammad, whose real name was Elijah Robert Poole, and we take the day that he was born, October 7th, 1897, we even get 33 date numerology. Now, if we take the span of Malcolm X's life, we get a span of 39 years and 9 months, just like murder equals 399. Malcolm X also passed away on Martin Luther King's 38th day of his age. Just like murder equals 38, just like death equals 38. Another person, another character. Now, also with death, Malcolm X passed away 2 months and 28 days before his upcoming birthday, just like death equals 228. He also passed away 228 days before Elijah Muhammad's birthday, just like death equals 228. What else equals 228? Martin Luther King Jr. You see how it all circles back and comes right back around? It all comes full circle. And we come right back to the beginning spot. Now, this is an interesting connection right here. Now, watch this right here. Watch these events right here trickle down. Now, if we touch on Martin Luther King real quick, because I got a whole special video on him. If we take the day that he was born, January 15th in the year 1929, we get 64 date numerology, just like black person. Black person equals 64. Remember when in the beginning I showed you that black person is equivalent to nigger by the numerology. Now, if we continue with this black person, right? The day that Malcolm X died, Martin Luther King was 36 years and 1 month old, just like black person equals 361. Now, also, Malcolm X's death and Martin Luther King's death was 3 years, 6 weeks, and 1 day apart. Just like black person equals 361. They're taking these people, they're writing these stories, and they're putting mockery in between every single one. I think that's what they laughing about in this picture. I think that's what they laughing about. The duper's delight. Even the day that Martin Luther King was killed was on 4/4, just like black person equals 44. Shooting equals 44. Kill equals 44. In this fake picture that we're going to break down in the Martin Luther King breakdown. But I want to focus on that word black person because it's very interesting that our 44th president was a black person. Now do y'all see what's going on, man, with these people that they giving you? Look at the name that they gave him when we know his real name was Barry Sorrento. But Barack Hussein Obama II equals 181, just like black person. And he happened to be the 44th president. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. This is mockery, man. At its finest. Malcolm X was even killed on 44 date numerology as well. Most importantly, 107. So he died by a shooting on 107 and 44 date numerology. Just like the word shooting equals 107 and 44. Now, most importantly, with that number 107, that number 107 is very interesting because that happens to be Elijah Muhammad's birthday, 10/7. Once again, 107. And Malcolm X was killed on 107 date numerology in a shooting, which equals 107. All of these characters are connected. All the stories are connected. Elijah Muhammad was also 67 years old at the time that Malcolm X was killed, just like blood sacrifice equals 67 in full reduction. So yes, indeed, I can conclude that all of these people were working in cahoots. Now, if that specific section of the story is true, that Malcolm X, as he was working along with them folks, either you could look at this like, okay, this was just a way to remove Malcolm X off of the world stage, right? You could just look at it as the whole thing was a stage. Even the fact of him, quote unquote, exposing Elijah Muhammad, you could even include that was a part of the stage as well. That was a part of the play to remove him from the world stage. Or you could look at it like, maybe he did break free. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he did break free and decide he wanted to expose them, and that's what led to his demise. But the fact that Martin Luther King death and Malcolm X death were scripted so perfectly, I don't think that's something you could come up with in a matter of days. This is something that's already predetermined. This seems as if something that's already predetermined ahead of time. So in my opinion, I believe that was a part of the play. I believe Malcolm X speaking out against Elijah Muhammad was a part of the play to remove him from the world stage. Same thing with J. Edgar Hoover, the beef between J. Edgar Hoover and Martin Luther King. I believe that was a part of the play as well. See, just watch a movie. Just watch a narrative of the movie. Go watch a movie. Go watch an action movie and see why the main character wants to kill the villain. It's always a good story as to why he wants to remove that person. But when we look at these actors, the actors are never dead. When that director screen's cut, these people get up, they wipe the blood off, and they bow, and everybody claps, and it was a good movie. These are the same thing. These are plays. These are movies. These are scripts that's being written that are being played out by these characters. Only difference is the director never says cut. It's just a never ending movie. And they just keep on bringing new characters. And the movie never ends. It's the never ending story. And the never ending story is called history. His story. But that's all we got for this video, man. Appreciate y'all for all the love. Appreciate y'all for all the support. And I'm out.